Yeah. We have a professor who's going to be clearing the air. So let's start with GMO. So let's start by defining it. Know the abbreviations? What is GMO really?
Genetically modified organism, if you read it from the back going the other way around, it also means, oh my God, how lovely is this technology? Now, this is how good that technology is. A genetically modified organism is that organism that has picked the DNA from another organism that naturally it cannot mate, or it cannot do the mating.
Okay.
For instance, if you have maize and another maize, then when you cross that, you get hybrid. So that hybrid is not GMO. That is natural mating or the crossing and all that. That's okay. Now, genetically modified organism, for instance, comes in, and I'm trying to break it down further.
Okay.
Obina, you usually enjoy your ugali, right?
Yes.
Ugali and beans, for instance. Let's start there. Ordinarily, why do you eat ugali? Because you want to get carbohydrates from it, isn't it?
Yes.
Why do you eat beans? Because you want to get proteins for them, isn't it? And sometimes when you are eating githeri, for instance, let's look, githeri is the best because you have maize in it, you have beans in it, you have some tomatoes also cut inside it, and some onions, isn't it? All mixed in there. Probably if you have those who like pilipili hoho or whatever, they have also cut in there. And when you now, after cooking, and you start eating, do you usually remove the DNA? So in your mouth, what do you have? Genetically mixed food. Is that true?
Yeah.
Now, why have you mixed all these things in a githeri? You have mixed maize because you are looking for carbohydrate. You have mixed beans because you are looking for proteins. You are putting tomatoes because you are looking for probably vitamins. And all those things that are in there, nutrients, actually that's what you're looking for. And human beings, our bodies are made up of what we are calling biomolecules. And I will be very simple. It is carbohydrates, protein, the things you passed in high school. Carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, minerals. You're talking about all the five. And lipids is now the fat thing that we usually talk about. And many others. And there are many other things that we can talk about around that. But ignore that. Why do we eat? We eat because our body is looking for those nutrients that will make us grow or protect us from any disease. That is fine. Now, what is GMO? Ordinarily, if, for instance, and that is what is happening with the climate change. So that I give you a background, then when I'm defining for you the GMO, then it just falls into place.
Okay.
The first question would be, why are we even doing biotechnology, or why do we make genetically modified organisms? What is the reason for it? First of all, there are a number of things. One, the climate is changing. Is that true? Because I don't think that is a problem of GMO.
It's very true.
It's very true. Number two, the global warming. The population is increasing, and a lot more in Africa.
At an alarming rate.
Alarming rate. Yeah, I like your English. Yes. Alarming rate.
Yes.
Then when you talk about that, then farmers in Africa, and Kenya to be precise, our GDP is largely agriculture. Okay, so 65% of actually most African countries is relying on agriculture as source of income.
Yes.
Then if you add to that, our farmers are also aging, meaning very soon. When was the last time, Obina, you were in the farm? It has taken a while, a little bit. Who is this person feeding us? Some old folks somewhere are the ones going to. And then our younger people, the youth, want white-collar jobs, and they are into technology. They want to, for maize to grow, you need to weed, literally. But the youth and many of them might think that there is an AI for weeding. And probably you want to take seeds and you want them to grow through probably, Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff. So what we are saying is that we have a generation of youth that would want things to be more techy, so that you must figure out how do you start talking to, say, your girlfriend, Obina, using a farmer as a swag. That, by the way, I'm usually a farmer. Nobody's proud about that. And that's not the truth, because the richest people, many of them in the US, are farmers.
That's true.
But when we come here, even when to introduce yourself and say, I'm a farmer, unaangalia different. You get what I mean? And why is it? Because we've not looked at farming and, added technology into it so that there is value for it. Because even wakati unaangaliwa hivi, like you're saying, with people are looking at you in italics in another way, the whole idea is that they all eat at the end of it all.
That's true.
Now, when we come in as a molecular biologist and genetic engineering so that we make GMO, what is our driving force? The driving force is that now we have drought. It has come and it has cleared all the maize that there is. But that time when there is maize, that has been cleared by the drought, don't be surprised that there is sisal that is growing in a drought environment. You get what I mean? If you look very well, you can find, cactus that is also growing. They are all plants and we don't eat them. So human beings, if there is a drought and we can choose to move from eating maize to probably sisal, then we don't even need to think about any technology because the world has everything at any given time. It is just probably when cassava is attacked, maize is available. If maize is attacked, probably beans is available and all that. Now, in genetic engineering, what is the definition? We are saying there is, for instance, now a disease that has come that has cleared all the beans. So if this disease comes because the climate is changing, and when the climate changes, what people don't understand is that the diseases are becoming stubborn, the pests are getting gluttonous, the plant that was previously very tolerant to that environment is becoming susceptible, and that means we are going to affect food production. Now, where genetic engineering comes in is this. Now, climate has decided that your beans cannot grow because there is a pest that eats it and it cannot survive. Like you have had fall armyworms, maize lethal necrotic disease, all these aflatoxins and all these things are around us. Now, but we must get our proteins.
Yes.
Where do we get the proteins from? And now beans cannot grow and we must eat beans. Now that is when we come in and start asking ourselves, very interesting question. Maize. What is this thing that is in maize that makes maize to produce carbohydrates? Now I take you to high school biology. You go to the cell, and inside the cell you go up to the nucleus, that small little thing that was inside that you are supposed to draw. That nucleus. Inside there is DNA. Now that DNA is more or less like the motherboard. Obina, your height, your color, your voice and everything is somewhere inscribed in the DNA within that cell. Now, this is how the DNA is. So that once I start unpacking this thing, you understand what is this hula baloo around GMO that is not making sense. That DNA in there has the sequence. So the building block, what makes the DNA is what? There are 4 letters. A, T, G, and C. Those are the only 4 letters that are in anything that you see alive. Anything, be it a mango tree, be it a mosquito, be it human beings, a hyena, all of them have just those 4 letters as...
Yeah. Mosquito, na bed bag,
those things. If I pick them right now and crush one and extract DNA and sequence, you will find those letters in there. Now the question you would ask is, then mosquito is not us. If it is true there are only 4, then how come a mango is different from a mosquito and all that? Now this is where the difference is in life. And once people understand the basics of these things, then they will understand from where we are coming.
Okay.
Now, in the genome, in the DNA setup, in a human being, so the ATGC, these are the 4 letters that repeat themselves now in a particular sequence. So it could be AGCC, whatever, many of them attached together, you get, to form what we are calling a sequence in the genome. For instance, for a human being, in your nucleus there, you have ATGC repeating itself in a particular sequence that is unique only to human beings. 3.2 billion of ATGC arranged and packed in there.
In one nucleus?
In one single nucleus, because it's all the same, except the gametics, which is the sperms and the ovum. So this somatic one, it has run through. So the other one has half of that. Are we there? Now, so you will find even a mango tree has the same ATGC. It's the same. So, but you cannot, for instance, cross beans and maize to get something that you can call what? Beano maize.
Let me just throw this in there because I'm thinking it.
Please, let's continue. Let's go with you.
Let me throw this in there. Umesema, hiyo ATGC. Binadamu ako nayo.
Yes.
Na maembe iko nayo.
Yes.
So in short umetuita maembe.